Weekdays noon to 3 on WSKO Syracuse. A Cumulus Media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score. With me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Big show today, packed show. We got a lot of things to talk about. I've been continuing to make the trip back and forth from Syracuse to Oswego, as Oswego now, after losing the SUNYAC finals last week, they ended up going down to New Paltz, but still qualified for the NCAA tournament with an at-large bid. Number 9 team in the country. They're hosting the first two rounds of the D3 NCAA tournament. So went to the game last night. I'll be going to the game tonight, 6 o'clock at Laker Hall in Oswego, New York, against Williams College. So talk about the Oswego game last night, talk about Oswego basketball in general. We're going to talk SU, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's lacrosse. I have a bone to pick with the NCAA or whoever the hell it was that scheduled Syracuse versus Army at noon on a Wednesday. You have a top 10 matchup in lacrosse, and I didn't know about it until halftime.
Those are prime lacrosse hours, dude.
It's one of those things where I had no idea this game was happening. I'm checking Twitter. I see a tweet from Tommy Sladak, and he's like, yeah, halftime, and at the JMA Wireless Dome. I'm like, what?
Didn't this happen last week?
Yeah, but it's happened.
It's happened again. Yeah.
And it just bothers me.
They keep scheduling new games on Wednesdays.
It bothers me a lot. Or I'm sorry, I think it might have been the Utah game. Oh yeah, that's right. The Army game was at 6 p.m. So yeah, we talked about that last week. That's right. I tried you're right. Yeah, it was the Utah game. The Army game, no, my bone to pick with that was it wasn't televised.
Oh.
That's what I knew. There was something annoying about the Army game. It wasn't televised. A top 10 matchup, and it was on ACC Network Extra. So you had to, if you don't have ESPN Plus, you're screwed.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, so it is on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it was on ESPN Plus, but a lot of people still don't have that.
Sure.
And SU ends up losing in overtime to a top 5 team again, like they did against Maryland, which sucks. But hey, they're still a top 10 team in the country. So men's, women's lacrosse, men's, women's basketball. We got high school basketball to talk about. West Hill winning sectionals once again in their class.
Juggernauts.
Absolute juggernauts. They beat Central Valley Academy 59-52 last night at the SRC Arena at Onondaga Community College. And I have a rant about Caitlin, not specifically about Caitlin Clark, about people discussing Caitlin Clark.
We got rants on the NCAA. I got one.
You got an NCAA rant?
Clark? Jay Billis, I want his head, dude.
Oh, man.
I want Jay Billis. Bring him to me.
You know what? We're just starting the show with rants. Go for it.
Why are we trying to kill fun in sports?
Thank you.
Duke ruins everything.
Everything.
Duke sucks. Jay, you went there 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Filipowski can be sore all he wants.
Yep.
He got into a crowd. It happens. You know why it happens? Because it's the most fun thing in sports.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do I understand that they probably shouldn't run onto the court? Well, the clock is still running.
Yeah, it was an early storm. It was absolutely an early storm.
I understand that, and even allowing time for players to get off wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah.
I can reason. We can talk this thing out. But to say that court storming is wrong and that those students should be arrested? Blasphemy, Jay Billis. That is crazy. It's utterly crazy. Who are you? Do you not remember how cool this was? I mean, I get it. Like, the fans think that they're whatever. This isn't pro sports. These aren't grown men running into people, like into children. This isn't an attack on their freedom. These are
45-year-old.
Now, sure, if I end up storming a court, Mark did in SU.
I did.
He's a student, kind of ish. You can still be a student.
I go out with a student.
As you should.
Yeah.
It's crazy, okay? It's the most fun thing. It's what students live for.
Yeah.
And guess what? Duke was ranked in their house. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
People know it's coming. Other than losing to a conference rival and already having to stink with that defeat, you're going to get trampled if you don't get out of the way. That's understandable. Everyone recognizes it. It happened with Caitlin Clark earlier this year.
And she was fine with it.
Right. She understands it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she gets it, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
She likes the physicality. It's okay. It's not a gender thing.
Yeah.
Just run into people. It's exciting.
It's my biggest problem with all this.
Yeah.
And this is such a Duke thing to happen.
Ugh.
It's so Duke.
Yeah.
It's almost perfectly Duke, this entire situation.
It would never be a thing.
And it would never be a thing. And Filipowski is claiming that, it was an ankle sprain. That's what John Shire originally said. He said high ankle sprain.
Then it was knee soreness. Right?
Yeah, then it was knee soreness, and then he's fine and he plays.
I mean,
if it was a high ankle sprain, he'd be out 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how high ankle sprains work. And that's what John Shire originally said, and then there'd be something. It's like, okay, you're missing your star player for a number of weeks because of this. Okay, there's a conversation there. Like, okay, this isn't great. He's fine. His knee's just a little sore, and he still went out and played the next game.
Even in the press conference after the game, like you're saying, when the coach is like, he kept saying, he was very obvious about, I don't want to take anything away from Wake Forest. They played a great game, whatever, but we got to focus on this. And again, I don't want to take anything away. You're taking it all away.
You're taking everything away.
Focusing on your star player who got run into, who's fine, that you're making
who
it a
also
thing.
tried to push somebody.
Yeah,
that's not talked about enough either.
You know what? Things happen in a brawl. I understand it. I'm not putting any fade on him. You got to defend yourself. I get it. I'm also, it's in slow-mo. It looks bad. In regular speed, it's like dudes are just running everywhere.
Yeah.
And I get it. He's trying to get off the court. I understand it. Also, I will say in that rant, the most times I've almost slipped on saying an F-bomb on it. Most times. It's just in the head.
We do have a delay again.
I know,
the delay is back. It was gone for a long time.
Almost needed it, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
It's just, while we're ranting.
Yeah.
We're just going. Braylon, do you have a rant?
I'll think of one.
Okay, so Braylon's gonna have a rant too. We're all ranting to start the show.
Go.
I have a problem with the discourse around Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in college basketball right now.
Correct.
Hands down, men or women, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Biggest star in college basketball right now. She's incredible. She averages over 30 points a game. She's 18 points shy of passing Pistol Pete Maravich, who we're going to get into in a second. Because
she's an Iowa 10.
Yeah. She's 18 points shy of passing the greatest college basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
In Pete Maravich for the all-time scoring record. And already these people are being like, yeah, well, Pistol Pete never had a three-point line and he played 3 years, so what does it matter? What do you mean, what does it matter? They're saying people are trying to say this doesn't count. It's like, yeah, she's played 50 more games. Of course she's going to pass him. Of course she's going to pass. No one's done it yet. He played at LSU from 1967 to 1970.
Right.
It has been 54 years since Pistol Pete Maravich left Baton Rouge. And people are like, yeah, of course she's going to pass him. What do you mean?
This is like one of these weird, Swifty, like odd misogyny things, I think, because
it
if it
is
was the other way around, it'd be like, that dude played in the 60s. He's who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares what he did? That's the normal argument for dudes in sports. And now it's like, no, he was a real boy. Like he played ball. And you're like, what are you talking about?
It also, my dad and I thought of this. Let's say you gave Pistol Pete a three-point line in college.
Sure.
He averages 60 points a game and he puts up the most hilarious numbers we've ever seen. Like he would have scored 5,000 points if he had a three-point line. The guy averaged 44 points a game for his college career. Like he's the greatest college basketball player of all time. And no one's going to take that away from him once Caitlin Clark passes him. No one's going to be like, okay, now Caitlin Clark is better than Pete Maravich. No one's saying that. Right. I would never make that argument. Pete Maravich is a legend. But can we just enjoy things? People, specifically sports fans, hate enjoying things.
Hate Caitlin Clark? Hate storming courts?
Yeah, no one has fun anymore. It goes back to you.
Yeah.
No one has fun watching greatness anymore. When people were watching Michael Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
no one got tired of Michael Jordan winning all the time.
Yep.
Because it was just like, God, he's so great. Everyone just leaned back and appreciated how great he was. Jim the Man-Child Lurch talks about this.
Yep.
He used to be a season ticket holder at the Garden for the Knicks for a number of years. And he would routinely watch Michael Jordan come into the Garden and destroy the Knicks.
Sure.
Happened many times. And he talks about, was it annoying? Yes. But he was so good, man.
You got to watch Michael in his element.
You're watching Michael Jordan. People used to you would sit back and appreciate greatness. And people have already started to turn on Caitlin Clark. She hasn't even gone to the WNBA yet, and she is going. She declared for the draft. I would have liked to see her stay another year at Iowa just for selfish reasons. I would like to see if she can average 40 points a game. That's all I wanted, was to see if she can just absolutely explode in a fifth year, which she's already exploded. She's amazing. It's just so annoying.
I wonder the response on mine for a second again. I wonder the response if this happened to not a Duke and like a UConn, another big program. And I know Bobby Hurley would be a psycho about it, probably. But outside of him, like, does Jay Billis give a crap? Does Seth Greenberg and Seth Davis, do they have to go on these big rants about it? No, it's because it's Duke.
Yeah.
It's absolutely because it's Duke. And Duke gets court stormed more than anybody these days because their program's just not that good as it was. I mean, it's a very good program still, obviously, but it's not the elite level that it's been competing at. And so people just own them. They court storm them all the time.
Yeah.
It gets boring, I bet. You know what? And it happens. So you should know better, Kyle. Get off the court.
Yeah.
You bum.
Yeah.
Be my bum of the week. I'll tell you again, Jay Billis.
Bum of the week.
Pat says, so no one sat and appreciated Brady. I think this is more recent than that. I think this is a very past couple years thing, because my comparison is Patrick Mahomes. People are like, there's people out there that are like, yeah, but really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, the guy's won 3 Super Bowls already. He's won a unanimous MVP. He had 50 touchdowns in a season. Patrick, he's easily the best quarterback in football.
He's the only quarterback to be drafted after 2016 and win a Super Bowl so far.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because Cowboys haters, they talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot. They talk about that a lot.
And Pat brings up Ohtani. That's going to change very quickly with him on the Dodgers.
Yeah, they're going to hate
that he's going to get so much hate this year for being on the Dodgers. It was fine when he was on the Angels because no one cares about the Angels.
Yeah.
They're the second team in LA, and I know one Angels fan.
Right.
And he's a diehard Angels fan. Shout out Noah. He's been a diehard Angels fan his entire life. But no one cares about the Angels. Now that he's on the Dodgers, it's going to be bad.
I've already been there. Now that he's not pitching too, he's just
You are an not anti-Ohtani guy, but
I'm just let's calm it down.
Yeah.
Especially now that he's not a Swiss Army knife. And I don't know that he'll ever be again.
He's just DHing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just DHing. He's still gonna hit 40 home runs and bat almost 300.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna be fantastic. But let's take it easy.
Ohtani was a good example of people just being like, "Wow, that guy's really good."
Yeah,
that's gonna change very quickly, in my opinion. I think he's gonna get so much hate and he signed a $700 million contract.
That's a good way to get people to hate you.
Yeah, it's $700 million. Braylon, do you have a rant?
It's not as passionate as yours.
Okay.
But it was something that I saw last night.
Okay.
Last night in the Bulls game.
Yeah, they played the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vujicic hits the guy over the mouth, and they call a flagrant 2. Right? Kick him out of the game. If that had been Draymond, I'm tired of the hypocrisy in the NBA. They should suspend that man indefinitely. Hit him in the mouth. It was blatant. I forgot the guy because it was one of their reserves. And he hit him in the mouth. He was coming down the lane. Wasn't a basketball player.
Wasn't trying to block it or nothing.
Just hit him.
Just threw his arms up, hit him in the mouth. They kicked him out of the game. But where's the suspension? They should have. Adam Silver should have at 6 o'clock this morning. Even though he should have got out of bed on Saturday morning. I'm suspending Vujicic indefinitely.
Listen, I'm a big time Draymond Green hater. Can't stand him. I never thought he was good at basketball. It just never been a fan of his. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. You just hit a guy.
He certainly gets targeted as a repeat offender, which makes no sense to me. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
he does it. He just plays that level of physicality, and it's like, I guess you're just trying to get rid
no,
of
it is dirty half the time.
Because when he hit Nurkic,
Yeah.
he didn't hit him that hard. Nurkic just kind of like laid down.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
no,
it wasn't
that was
hard of a hit.
that was a great sell by
And
Yusuf Nurkic.
Retaliate. They were going back and forth the
Yeah.
entire game
Yeah.
until
That
Draymond ended.
that one was a little absurd.
If this was 98, it'd be way different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Draymond's a guy from a different era.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's just I'm fine with that if it's the great Charles Barkley line. He averages a triple single. Like like I'd be much more okay with it if he didn't score 6 points a game.
Yeah.
And like you can score 6 points a game and be, Ben Wallace or Dennis Rodman. He's neither of those. Like he's a really good defender. I'll never take that away from him. I mean, one depoy, like he's a really great defender. I just do not like watching him play basketball.
His fall off is like one to study, I think, because like when they were winning champion, like 2017, Draymond was a different beast. He was a true triple double guy. He was all single, like 10, 10, 10.
10.
Like,
Yeah, it was 10, 10, 10.
He was distributing. He was a nuts defender. I mean, he was just an all around freak player. And now it's like
could be that gray patch in his beard.
Is that what's happening?
The gray hairs.
That gray patch came in. He kind of slowed down a
The
little bit.
self-confidence issue. He's like, I can't shoot. Look at this, man. Looks in the mirror. He's like, you can't shoot. What's wrong with you?
You don't see any gray
hairs are talking to him.
You don't see any gray in Steph's hair. I'll tell you that much. That guy's still shooting the lights out. I think you're right, Braylon. It's all the gray hair. That's why I'm not good at basketball. I got too much gray hair.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the fact that I was never good at basketball. I've got too much gray hair. All right, those are the rants. We're starting the show off with 3 rants today. We're coming in hot.
I like it.
I feel. Do we all feel better
I do.
after getting those out?
Yeah.
I feel like that was quite cathartic to get a rant out to start the show.
I like it. I like coming in hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we'll have more. Who knows where our conversation will lead us today. After this break, we'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
A flex at bet is where each head goes up.
Not a rant fully, but in semifinals yesterday
Mhm.
at a tennis tournament.
Yep.
It was Rublev, who you'll know.
Yeah,
against
I know
Bublik.
Rublev.
You know Bublik too?
Yeah.
He's top 30 player. Very good. Semifinals, third set, 5-5. Bublik serving on serve.
Okay.
Game point. Bublik hits one deep. They don't call it. Rublev returns it. They play out the point. Rublev loses the game. He's now having to serve to stay alive, force a tiebreaker.
Yep.
Before that, he runs over to a linesman who didn't call it out and mother F's him and screams in his face for a good 6 seconds. Now, 6 seconds doesn't seem like a long
That's
time.
a
It's
decent
pretty
amount of time.
long
Yeah.
time to stare directly in somebody's face and yell at them.
Yeah.
So he does that, and then he walks over because most of it was in Russian.
Mhm.
And he sits down like nothing happened. Another rat scum linesman comes over to the main official and goes, I speak a little Russian. He just said X, Y, and Z. They boot him.
Oh.
They kick him out. And he's like, this dude's not even Russian. He's like, you don't know what I said. He's like, I said he was like a... And people online were like, he called him a moron. Like, Russians are like, he called him a moron. This dude was like, he called him a boo, boo, boo.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And he's like, I'm Russian. How do you not trust me? And they're like, nope, you're out. And it's like semifinals.
That's
third
nuts.
set. And they kick him. And it's like, what do you do? Who wins here? That's
No.
not fun.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
no one
being
wins.
even Bublik was like, I'm fine. Let's keep playing.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. It was deep. He was like, it probably was.
Yeah.
He was right. He was right there. I don't care. Let's keep playing.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Got some rants out to start the show. Felt good. We're all feeling better. It was quite cathartic. Do want to talk some SU men's basketball? They've got a game tonight, 8 o'clock on the ACC network, taking on the Louisville Cardinals. That dumpster fire of a program from the past couple of years.
Need a win.
SU needs a win badly. Currently at 19-10, chance to get to 20, which for a long time was sort of a magic number to get into the NCAA tournament. But with all this new rankings and things like that still make no sense to me. It's not.
They're not even a last four in.
No, they've gotten to the in consideration part of Joe Lenardi's bracketology.
How nice.
Joe Lenardi fraud, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there.
Are you the one with the Joe Lenardi connection? Like 6 degrees of Joe Lenardi? I have a
No.
friend who like knows of a guy who's like friends with Joe. It's okay. So it's
No,
you.
it's not me.
I got you.
No,
I didn't remember.
If I did, I would call him a fraud to his face.
Yeah.
I would text Joe and be like, "Hey Joe, you're a fraud."
Yeah.
Here's why I'm saying that, because he's got SU in the in consideration. That's great.
Sure.
I'm about to rant again. This is going to turn into a rant. He's got SU in consideration. Great.
Mhm.
That's fine. Ahead of SU, still Pittsburgh and Oregon, who we beat by 20 on a neutral site.
Yeah, that's
what?
Because if it wasn't Pittsburgh, you're like, well, maybe they just think the ACC sucks, which is probably a fair thing to debate, I guess, if you just think the other conference is harder. But it's not. It's not that. Because you have Wake and Pitt being in contention, and those two teams suck too. Why can't Syracuse be not just in consideration? Put me in the first 4 out. Put me somewhere.
Like, Jim says, Pitt and Oregon, have been playing pretty well. SU hasn't been playing bad. Like, I think it's 4 out of their last 5 or something. Like, SU's been playing pretty well. And Wake, I think Wake's a better team than Syracuse. I'm fine with Wake being ahead of them, but I'm just so sick and tired of seeing Pitt ranked ahead of Syracuse, a team we beat twice.
Yeah, in their building.
Once in their building, once in ours. A team we beat twice and is consistently ranked ahead of us. When we've got a better strength of record, better strength of schedule. Like, it's just this stupid net ranking that I can't escape. I'm about to read Chris Carlson just so happened to tweet something earlier about SU in the bracket. So looks as if SU has dropped out of the projected brackets in the 2 bracket matrix entries that had the orange in earlier this week. Believe both had SU over Gonzaga. The Bulldogs improved their resume with a second quad 1 win earlier this week. Oh, a second quad 1 win. Something Syracuse already has.
Gonzaga's a weird one to be ranked and also be bad. They're ranked again, aren't they? Aren't they like 23rd or something?
I don't know. Yeah, they might be.
They just beat the Dons by 20
in
San Fran.
Yeah, which that's a big win. Dons are pretty good.
They're another one that just gets this free. I don't understand.
Yeah, Gonzaga isn't that good.
No, they're not this year. They're really not.
They're easily not as good as St. Mary's.
Dude, if they get that 5 seed, they're on upset alert. They're one to watch because I don't think they're very good at all.
Yeah, it's Gonzaga's weird, man. I used to like Gonzaga.
I hate Gonzaga.
Well,
I hate Gonzaga.
Yeah, I used to like Gonzaga because they were this plucky team from Washington that would make the tournament every year, and I was like, oh, it's fun. Now they're frauds.
They were a mid-major powerhouse, which is sure they're fun to root for. Wichita State in the late 2000s. There's been plenty of sweethearts that take over, and then they get too good.
The thing about Gonzaga, it's like every year it was always, Gonzaga's the best team in the country. They never did anything.
Never.
And I used to get so mad. I'm like, you keep saying this, and they'll be 1 seed, 2 seed. They never do anything.
They made the finals run that one year.
When they had Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, they made a finals run 1 year, and they lost to Baylor. Like,
I will say the most fun thing about watching Gonzaga games now is when it's in blowout territory and you get to watch Mark Few's kid. That's pretty fun because he's not good at all.
No, he stinks.
It's very
he's
fun.
So bad.
Can you imagine being recruited to one of the best programs? You'd be like, am I not playing over the coach's kid? Like, is this still happening?
Yeah.
At D1 college?
D1.
God.
I mean, people would argue that we had that at Syracuse for a few years too. So,
well, yeah,
but not with Buddy.
Buddy's in the league.
Buddy's in the league. Signed a contract with the Pistons.
The Pistons are the most odd. Sorry, little tangent here. The Pistons only played like 4 forwards the entire night yesterday.
Yeah.
They lost by 10 to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
They have Duran and Wiseman, and then Isaiah Stewart, and like 1 bench forward that came in. That's it. They don't play. So like Buddy and them, they just don't get playing time. They just run small ball the entire time.
I mean, Buddy's a guard, kind of.
They have him listed as small forward.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Pat says, people say the Big 12, and then he says best conference in basketball in parentheses. False, it's the Big East. Stack their non-conference schedules with inferior opponents, but they still have a significantly better record against quad 2 and 3 teams than the ACC. Oh, this is just Pat and Jim having a conversation in the chat.
Who are they? Who's pro? What are they pro for?
Well, Pat says the net ranking doesn't even count for anything, though, which is true.
Yeah,
I mean, it's looked at by the committee, but it doesn't count for
it's
anything.
Not the tell-all. Yeah.
And it's just more of a sorting tool.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I just don't like it. That's my thing. Is
hear me out?
I just don't like it. There's
numbers are stupid.
Oh, excellent. Pat says the Big East is not the best conference in basketball. Pat, you're wrong. It's the Big East. I think outside of Georgetown and DePaul.
Yeah.
I mean, Nova's a little stinky, but Nova's got some big wins this year too.
Nova might make the tournament.
Yeah, Nova probably will make the tournament.
Marquette, Creighton, Xavier might be around.
Seton Hall
could be.
I mean, UConn obviously.
Yeah.
It's. I think they've been playing the.
Outside of what did UConn lost to Creighton last time? That was their last big loss.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately was like, they're the best team because I've been searching for like the Kentuckies, like the one.
I still think it's UConn.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
it's tough because like I don't know when March Madness comes around. It's like I always look at coaching, always look at this, and I love Bobby, whatever. But I don't actually love Bobby. I think he's a good coach, but I don't like him as a person. I don't know. I think they have a really good shot. I think they have the best chances of people to win titles. If you're looking at actual contenders, like they have like 3 teams who could win a national championship, and I think that's a lot.
Pat brought up Houston, which Houston is also absolutely in the conversation for the best team in the country. Like, I think it boils down to
it's Big 12 or Big East.
Yeah, I think it boils down to Houston, UConn. I don't trust Purdue, so I can't put Purdue in there. Kansas is like. No, because Kansas has like 8 losses.
They have that many losses?
Yeah, Kansas has some weird losses this year.
Eats themselves. TCUs of the world ruined the Big 12.
Also, Pat says the best conference can't have Georgetown and DePaul in it. I mean, West Virginia stinks.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the Big 12, I mean, West Virginia's real bad. They've got 9 wins this year. Like, Oklahoma State's, they're 12 and 16. They're second to last in the conference, but. I mean, it's just, it's a conference that eats each other up, just like the Big East. Like
all conferences have bad teams.
Yeah, all conferences have bad teams. I missed your message about the bad Big 12 teams, Pat. I'm sorry.
DePaul is definitely the worst Power 5 team, though.
Oh yeah, they shouldn't. They should be kicked out of the Big East.
That's a bad
It's
franchise. It's been bad for as long as I can remember.
They've been bad for 30 years.
They've been bad when Syracuse was still the Big East. They're bad.
Yeah, I mean, DePaul has been bad forever.
I couldn't tell you a single guy who went to DePaul.
Nope.
I know of no NBA person that went to DePaul.
I can't think of a guy
if
that went to DePaul.
If you can in the chat,
either.
please enlighten me.
Yeah,
I can't.
Pat said the Big Ten rocks too. Yeah, the Big Ten is like weird because I don't like I said, I don't like Purdue.
I think the Big Ten's bad.
I just don't trust any of those teams.
Yeah, don't give me Illinois in the tournament.
Nope.
Don't give me Purdue, Wisconsin.
Nope.
No. Don't touch me with them.
Wouldn't touch them with a 10 football. I might pick Purdue to lose in the first round again this year.
Yeah, gotta look at the matchup.
Maybe
get LIU Brooklyn or something. Those boys can ball.
I'm not a Big Ten guy.
No.
Big Ten and Pac-12, they're all frauds.
Yes,
they're all frauds.
I second that.
Yeah,
we agree on this.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's college basketball talk.
Okay.
Of course, it devolved into actual tournament talk. Oh, by the way, no, that's not college basketball because we didn't even get to.
Oswego.
Well, we'll talk about Oswego when we come back, but D1 college basketball talk because I didn't even mention. I think Syracuse still has a very real chance to make the tournament.
Yeah,
I think you win today.
Yeah.
Which I hope to God they win today.
That
number's only 4.5, and I don't understand it.
Is it in Louisville?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still would have said 7.5. I did say 7.5 to someone yesterday. I was like, I think the line will be 7.5. It's
always tough on the road.
Yeah, it's always. But come on, it's Louisville.
I get it.
But you got to win. Got to win today, and I think you got to win at Clemson.
It could all come down to
it's all going to come down to Joe Girard.
Yep.
And it blows my mind that it's happening again.
Because if you beat Clemson, I say you win one tournament game you're in. In my mind, that's probably enough.
Probably.
If you lose to Clemson, you might need a run.
You need to win at least 2, if not 3.
Yeah. You might need a pretty decent run in the ACC if you lose to Clemson.
But yeah, I think Clemson's the must-win game of the season.
So when is Clemson? Early next week, and then the tournament starts next week?
Yeah.
Nice.
Love
it. It's March.
We're in March. This is March,
Yeah.
as John Rothstein would say.
March. I love that clip. Go. I am March.
I've done nothing but watch like March Madness highlights the past few days. It's been
You
fantastic.
sent in the Nova one the other night.
Yeah, it's just I love it, man. It's the best tournament in the world.
Yeah.
Best tournament in the world. Nothing beats the madness. And I've been watching some madness at the D3 level, so we'll talk about that when we come back here on Outside the Box Score. With me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Truck buyers, list.
Tell you, I'd kill to just have plans on a day like today, like do something. I mean, I'm gonna go home and just watch college sports until I pass out tonight. But I'd like to be able to do something. I have nothing going. You have the game. What do you do, Braylon? What do you do with your time? I don't know a lot about you. What do you do?
Who are you?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. I was gonna say you don't have an answer. Oh, you're working.
I got you. Like all the time, I'll just look at her and be like, "You want to do something?" She's like,
"No,
I'm gonna read." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll whatever." Been getting into audiobooks. Spotify has free audiobooks. Only 16 hours of listening a month. Which, to give you some headway, that's like maybe a book.
Yeah.
Half ish. So I'm halfway through a book right now, and I'm like, I gotta buy it. To get 10 more hours, it's like $13. And I'm like,
that's ridiculous.
That's a lot. That's to finish my book. I gotta pay another 13. I'm like, double my subscription price. I'll probably do it later.
What's the book?
It's called Gambler: Life at Risk. Life at Risk. It's by Willie Walters. Billy Walters.
I know the name.
He was on Rogan last week talking about it.
Oh, okay.
He was like one of the first dudes involved with an algorithm for gambling in like the late 70s, 80s. Really interesting dude.
Yeah.
They got him on some BS charges. He went to jail.
Oh.
At 71, they put him in federal prison.
Oh, come on.
For insider trading on the same stock that Lefty had bought, and Lefty hates him.
Yeah.
He was the guy who released the book about all the Lefty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He told him he had him bet $400,000 on his own Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, that's why I knew the name.
His chapter is next. I'm like, I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Just give it to me.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Keeping up with the college basketball talk, but now we're going down to the D3 level, which has been a lot of fun for me to watch because I've been making a trip to Oswego to watch my beloved Lakers. Last night, they ended up beating Babson, the Beavers, 74-63. Babson, I just love saying Babson. Babson.
It's Beavers. Beavers.
The Babson Beavers, which it would be a lot funnier if they were in like Georgia, but they're in Wellesley, Massachusetts. But great game by Oswego. Great first half, really. Went on a big run to end the first half. They're up 12 at the half. Once again, outscored in the second half. They've had some struggles in the second half of their most recent games. But Akie Anderson put the team on his back, 26 points. 21 for Jeremiah Sparks and 14 for the sixth-year guard Julian Crittenden. It's funny. I was talking to Coach after the game last night. Shout out Coach Jason Leone, the man. Went out. He like opened his press conference with a shout out to me, and it was weird.
Really?
Yeah. He like sat down. He was like, it's a good day when Mark Rowlands is in the press conference. And I was like, oh, coach.
Give you some credit.
Came up and like gave me a hug afterwards. He was like,
You're
thanks for
in.
I'm in, man. If they win it all, I want to ring.
Now we just need him to catapult to a bigger program, and then we're in.
Yeah, then we're in. Coach Leon, if you end up going
You
to
a PR guy, coach,
you end up going to a
Reach
D1
out.
program, I'm going to be the
Let's run
sports
his
information
communications.
director.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's. But I felt like awkward because he said that, and I was like, "Hi."
That's me.
Yeah, just sort of gave. I know what I gave. I gave the salute. My go-to awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands move is a salute, and I did that. I was like, "Good to be here." But so shout out Coach Leon, the man. But it was all in all, really good game. Great defensive effort in the second half. Like I said, they got outscored, but compared to what I saw in the first half, they started playing a lot of zone in that game yesterday. And Coach Leon mentioned we don't play a ton of zone during the regular season. And he brought up an interesting point. He goes, I think it's because everyone in New York watches Syracuse basketball, so they all know how to beat a zone.
Yeah.
But when they get into the tournament, they play it every year. And he was like, because they don't watch Syracuse basketball, so they don't, play against a lot of zone. I asked the Babson coach afterwards, like, just out of curiosity, did the zone mess you guys up? Like, do you see a lot of zone? He's like, actually, there's 3 teams in our conference that play almost exclusively zone.
Okay.
So they saw a lot of zone during the regular season during conference play.
Does coach practice the zone all year? Like
he said out of 75 practices, they probably did it in 55 of them.
Really?
Yeah. He goes,
so they prep for this.
Yeah,
all year.
they work on the zone all year. And which good for them to be that committed to doing something that is only going to come out in a certain situation that you don't know is going to happen before the season or even during the season. Like you can have the D3 tournament. It's so weird getting an at-large bid because there's so many conferences that, auto qualify. There's so many more automatic qualifiers that it's tough to,
you have to be really good.
Yeah, you have to be really good to get an at-large bid. So Oswego, they got an at-large bid, but they didn't win the conference this year. So the conference tournament. So it was like, oh man, like we think we're gonna get an at-large bid because we're the number 9 team in the country, but you still gotta hope.
Not a lot to go around at that level.
Yeah. And so they get the at-large bid hosting this weekend, like I said, in Oswego, the Max Zeal Gymnasium at Laker Hall. I'll be there again tonight. They're taking on Williams College. Shout out Nate Amato, the leading scorer for Babson last night. Guy's a stud. Ended up with 28 points, 13 rebounds, 11 of 24 shooting. Played 38 minutes. Sat for 2 minutes the entire game. Same with Cartier Bowman, the sort of de facto center for Oswego. Oswego doesn't have much size. They're not a very big team. And he's the center. He's like 6'6".
Okay.
He played 38 minutes, ended up having 6 points, but 13 rebounds. I love watching this guy play. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. He plays like a bull in a china shop, and it's so much fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
He's hustling. He's ripping boards out of people's hands. Like, ended up a couple fouls last night that I thought were, or it says here he's only listed as having 1, but I think he got called for another one. That were a little ticky-tack because he plays so physical.
Plays hard.
Oh, yeah. He plays really hard. And Babson, I will say, played a very physical style of basketball last night, especially on the defensive end. I describe the entire team as pesky. Like, they're just annoying.
Yeah.
Like, you get the ball in your hands, they're all over you. And they did a really good job at times of shutting down Oswego's offense. Not well enough. As like I said, Oswego ends up winning, but it was a interesting up and down season for them. They're in the new MAC, the New England Athletic Conference. I don't know what the W and it might be like New England Western Massachusetts Athletic Conference, like something like that.
I like that.
And they only ended up going 15-13.
Did they win the conference?
But they won the conference, and their coach was like, "This is the toughest season I've ever had," because apparently they were just ravaged by injuries this year. They had a guy tear his Achilles 3 weeks ago. He was a senior, one of the captains, tore his Achilles. That Nate Amato, like I mentioned, he missed like 6 or 7 games this year. Steph Baxter, who played 39 minutes last night, one of their leading scorers, he was hurt, and like he goes, it's amazing that we made it this far, like, because they just went on a run in their conference tournament and won all 3 games and ended up qualifying.
They
So
played with pretty much a 5-man rotation last night.
no, they
You've listed like 3 guys who had like 38 minutes.
well, yeah, Oswego goes short bench. Oswego pretty much plays 6 guys, 6, 7 guys.
Okay, so maybe that's just D3 all around.
Yeah, but they had a couple guys. Najon Fortes had 20 minutes off the bench. Aiden Horan had 13 off the bench, but pretty much just same lineups.
Okay.
And Coach Leone's always had a short lineup.
Gotcha.
Since I was watching him in college, he's always had a short lineup. And like their starting point guard, Kenny Lazo, played 9 minutes. Like he starts. He took 1 shot. Like he in 9 minutes. He had 4 fouls and 3 turnovers. Like he's sort of
4 fouls in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's sort of like, he starts, but it's then Julian Crittenden comes in and plays 31 minutes off the bench. Like, it was funny. One of the guys in the press conference last night asked Coach Leone, "Yeah, will we see a more expansive role for Julian in tomorrow's game?" He goes, "I don't know how much more of a role you want than 31 minutes. I don't know if he can give us much more than that, but I mean, I can try if you want me to." It was funny. And then Caleb Cook comes off the bench for Oswego. He had 24 minutes last night.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it was not a big Jamal Achille performance. He only played 21 minutes and also he had 4 rebounds. I thought he also had 4 fouls. But, yeah, he was on the bench for a significant amount of the second half. So, yeah, that's a breakdown of the Oswego basketball game yesterday. Like I said, they take on Williams College today.
I'll be watching on TOP.
And, yeah, you can watch a WTOP YouTube channel. You can listen on WNYO889.org if you want to listen to the WNYO broadcast. And we're also rooting for Chris Newport, or Newport Christian. I don't know what this school is. CNU. They're taking on Widener today. And we're rooting for Newport because if Widener loses, Oswego also hosts the next 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. I think it would be very cool. Obviously, if they win today, Oswego has to win, Widener has to lose. And Oswego would host the next 2 rounds. I think that'd be great if Oswego could play upwards of an Elite 8, which is where they made it last year, in their own building. So
we'll see.
Go Newport. Roll Newport. I don't know what their nickname is, but roll Newport. Roll Chris. What was that noise?
What? That's Roll Newport.
Yeah. Like you sounded like someone like punched you in the gut.
I'm herding cattle or something. I don't know. Roll Newport.
Roll Newport. We'll be right back after that hilarious noise here on Outside the Box Score on the Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of Central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Central New York, you worked hard for the income tax return you're about to receive. I want you to keep it. This is Kevin Fear from Mattress Express, and in celebration of the tax season.
Who they got today?
At home against Tennessee, they're 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I like Bama there. I'm anti-Tennessee.
Yeah.
Just in general. I just don't like Tennessee.
No Vols?
No. hate
It's
the
because they're
balls.
orange. We've talked about
Yeah,
this.
it's
You know,
because
the fake orange.
Yeah, it's because
I
they're
actually,
fake
the
orange.
amount of people on Twitter that I'll see who like have the orange icon, I'm like, oh, they're from Syracuse.
Nope,
And I'll look
Tennessee.
At it's Tennessee, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
The orange, like that doesn't make sense.
It's literally our name.
Right. It's an orange.
It's our mascot. Our mascot is a fruit. Jim, I wish I thought of the Newport 100s. That's very funny.
Sit back, smoke a little menthol, enjoy the game.
They show up and they're all just like 40 years old.
Greened out.
They're all smokers.
They look like the pack, just greened out.
No one on the team can play more than 5 minutes at a time. They're all out of breath.
You guys let us smoke in here, or you guys a bunch of pansies? What are you doing? You guys cool or what?
Big Sigs Inside group, Newport.
The TOP broadcast like, through clouds of smoke, it looks like Jeremiah Sparks just landed another one. Really getting hard to see in here. The entire Newport bench is lit up. It's filling up the state. Feels like I'm back in Granddaddy's den right now. This is tough.
Oh my God.
Getting a buzz. I'll get some Newports on the way home.
What's that?
Maybe I'll get some Newports on the way home.
Now you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Did you watch any SNL last week with Shane?
Yeah, I didn't watch it live, but I watched like
Clips of it?
Yeah, I saw like the Gambler one, the
Yes.
Forrest Gump one. I love that Liberty Mutual sketch.
It was fantastic.
It's so funny.
If the other if the other one wasn't the Gambler one of the pre-made one, I
Yeah.
definitely thought that should have been on the show at some point.
Yeah.
But at least they put it out. It's still hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it was on the show live, I
The
guess.
Limu?
Yeah.
No.
No, when they put it on Peacock, it wasn't on there.
It wasn't on live. I watched
Oh,
it on
wasn't?
NBC. Yeah.
That's what
It
I
was
had heard.
Their cut for time sketch.
Oh.
So it was supposed to like I don't know how that works.
It was
but
fantastic.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he did. I like the monologue too. It's a good monologue.
Apparently he didn't tell he only told certain people he was gonna say those words.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
We're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. You know, we were during the break. I was thinking.
Mhm.
I was thinking about our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Can't get them out of my head.
And they're always there.
16 craft beers.
16
It's a lot.
beers on tap. All of them delicious.
Try them all. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Responsible.
I've never had a bad beer there.
Nope.
I've tried most of them. I pride myself, actually, and when I walk into either the Casnovia or Inner Harbor locations, and I look up at the big board behind the bar, written in chalk, usually with some fancy design. They have a great art person there. I don't remember who it is. I've met them before, but like they did all the stuff on the windows and great art person.
Good atmosphere.
Great atmosphere. But when I look up at that big chalkboard and look at the cool designs and read the sometimes hilarious names of the beers, if there's something new that I haven't tried that seems like it would be up my alley, I usually go out of my way to try it.
You know why? For me, at least, I trust Ivan. Ivan's never going to do me wrong.
Ivan has never done anybody.
He's going to cook me up something nice,
and
I'll try it.
He does a fantastic
I'll
job
try
with those
anything
beers.
once.
Yeah, I'll try any beer they have once. That's for sure, and probably a second, third, fourth time.
Yeah, all responsibly.
All responsibly.
delicious.
I'm just mean at different,
Sure.
at different times. I don't know if there's a beer that they've put out that I've had once and been like, okay.
Yeah.
I always, I drink different stuff there, man. And
all the beers pair great too with their delicious food options.
Thank you for bringing that up because we often talk about their delicious food, the pizzas, wings, award-winning wings, beef on weck. They've got this mac and cheese now, which is to die for. And we talk about but you're right. They do pair nicely.
Yeah.
There's something about a great beer and great food, but you get, sometimes it's like, this beer doesn't fit with this food. Everything on their menu pairs great with everything on their menu, I guess.
That's why it's great because you have different options. If you're drinking let's say you're eating a mac and cheese, pretty hearty, pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to go with the stout that time. Maybe you just take a nice floating on by.
Yeah, you
little
take
lager.
little Pilsner, which is
Pilsner, yeah.
absolutely delicious. The
Little later fare.
the Velvet Fog pairs with just about anything.
I'd take that with a plate of dog food. That's fantastic. The Velvet Fog is delicious.
It's absolutely delicious. So make sure to visit our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company. Like I said, 2 locations. The Palace out in Cazenovia, which we're getting close to sitting outside at the Palace again. And
live music by the bar.
Once the weather gets nice, if anyone hasn't been out to the Cazenovia location, I implore you to make the trip on a beautiful summer day. Sit outside, listen to music, get some food, drink some beer. It's absolutely fantastic. And they also have great events during the winter. You can go down to the Speakeasy down below, the cellar. It's awesome place. Shout out Jim in the chat just saying, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. He's the man. He's absolutely the man.
Smash it.
Smash the like button. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Get notifications whenever we go live, which is every Saturday at 11 a.m. But also we post videos on there sometimes.
We do.
Yeah. We should do another one. It's been a while since we did our college basketball.
Yeah.
Or no, I did the...
you did a solo.
Yeah, I did a solo one of my Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. But we should put another video up on the Score 1260 YouTube channel. You can also watch on Twitch. It's great.
Sure.
Everything's great. Myers Creek is great. Twitch, YouTube, it's all great.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I'm downplaying it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So yeah, Myers Creek Brewing Company. Just wanted to talk.
How many times did I say delicious in that? I feel like I said it a lot.
No less than 38.
Yeah. Gotta get a new adjective in my brain.
Delectable.
Superb.
Superb. That's a great one.
Stupendous.
Stupendous. Sure.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
That perfect. Scrumdiddlyumptious
Bang.
is how I would describe the food and beverage at Myers Creek Brewing Company. It's all scrumdiddlyumptious. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Right after the live hit, there also the ad playing, and somebody's just going, I mean, they're talking about this fucking brewery 5 minutes in a row. I get it. I'm going to go. It's fantastic. Okay, I'll try it. I'll do it. I promise.
By next week's show, who will have more wins this week, SU men or women? Women now into the ACC tournament. Their season wrapped up the other night with a loss against NC State, a game that they should have won, in my opinion.
It was a tough one. Who's their coach, by the way?
Felicia Leggett-Jack.
Yeah, she was all cheers after. She was happy as a
Oh,
cupcake.
she's fantastic. I love Coach Leggett, Jack, whatever. But no, she's great. Local legend. She went to West Hill.
Okay.
She was a great player at West Hill. Went to Syracuse. Was unbelievable at Syracuse. And it's so nice to have her coaching this team. And she's done a great job. She was at Buffalo before,
right,
and did a great job at Buffalo. That she brought Daisha Fair with her.
Yep.
And yeah, she's the best. I've met her a couple times, and she's just so nice.
Yeah,
nicest person in the world.
I mean, even after the tough OT loss, all smiles through the line. Good job, coach. Love you. I mean, she's a nice lady. It looks like.
Yeah, ACC tournament for the women starts on the 6th.
Who do they play in the first round? Do they know yet?
I don't know.
I think there's some more games.
Yeah, I think there are too.
Yeah, they probably won't be. Maybe a top 5 seed in the tournament. Right?
2.
They're the 2.
We're currently number 2 in the ACC.
Really? Even so, just Louisville is ahead of them.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
As it stands right now, it could. Yeah, there's games tomorrow, but as of right now, we're 2 seed.
Okay.
Jim says could fall to as far as 4, but are guaranteed a top 5 seed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, March 6th. Shout out my mom. That's her birthday.
Hey, that's my boss's birthday.
Oh.
March 6th.
And we're back, wrapping up an eventful hour here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Do want to mention, shout out West Hill basketball. Once again, winning their class sectional final. West Hill went 21-2 this year, winning the Class A sectional championship last night at OCC against Central Valley Academy, a school I had never heard of until yesterday. Or not yesterday, but when the bracket first came out for sectionals. A school I had never heard of, and then they made the sectional finals in basketball and boys volleyball. So apparently a sports powerhouse, Central Valley Academy. The Thunder, they're called, out there in Herkimer County, which I found out last night. But Eli Welch led the way for West Hill. He had 20 points. We had Cam Langdon with 17, and the other Eli Prince, with 16, the three players in double figures for West Hill. Central Valley was led by, and I love this name, Deacon Judd.
Deacon Judd?
Deacon Judd.
Hell yes.
That's a fantastic name.
Love it.
He had 19 points, 11 rebounds, and Thomas Jaquays is how I'm going to go with pronouncing his last name. Jacquuays.
Yeah, Jaquiz would make sense. I thought it was maybe a Jaquiz, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So he had 17 and 8 boards for the Central Valley Academy Thunder. I can't get over Deacon Judd.
That's a great name. Mark, I don't know if you saw my demeanor just change a little bit in here. I know we
Yeah.
got to get off here in a second. Just got a notification.
We got a couple minutes.
Just got a notification that in what the Cowboys have dubbed as their all-in year, they are not re-signing their Pro Bowl tackle Tyron Smith, and he'll be a free agent this year.
Fantastic.
Love it. I mean, you just love to see that of a decade-long Pro Bowler at the position. You know, it'd be like the Eagles being like, we're all in, but Lane Johnson can go kick a brick.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Really love to see it. Can't wait for the season. Good start, Jerry. Thank you.
I did see they're trying to steal Hassan Reddick from me, and I'm not a fan of that at all.
Dude, I don't believe any of it. They're all in. They're all this is their year. They won't do anything. I won't believe they didn't even send their coaches to the combine.
They didn't send anyone to the combine?
I mean, they have like scouts.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No head coach, no DC, and no OC.
What did McCarthy find out that the all-you-can-eat buffet isn't included this year?
I don't know. I don't know why. Something that said he's like, hey, we got to prep for things here, and I'm like, what is there to do, Mike? What is there to do for you? Are you making front office decisions? Are you trying to do that? Just go see who we're drafting.
Easter's coming up. He's got to cook 5 meals for himself.
Damn it, Mark.
I'm sorry.
I hate mold the chocolate rabbits. He makes the biggest rabbit this side of the Mississippi.
He wouldn't be able to eat, he wouldn't be able to mold the chocolate rabbits because he would eat all the chocolate before they were done. Boom. I hate Mike McCarthy. I think he's a bad coach and I don't like him. Yeah, just that's all I got.
No,
just some Mike McCarthy jokes.
Mini nightmare here for me. That's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, I think we're gonna lose Hassan Reddick, and the Eagles are gonna do weird things, and then we're gonna somehow win 13 games, and I'm gonna get my hopes up. Then we're gonna lose in the second round.
Same thing. Season didn't even start for 5 months. Not even the BS season.
Yeah,
and I'm still mad about it. But today the combine should be fun. Running backs and quarterbacks, right?
Hate the combine.
You don't like the combine?
Nope. Think it's dumb.
What do you mean?
You
don't like dudes running 40s?
I don't need the NFL Combine to tell me that running backs are fast.
Okay.
Like to me, it's all obvious. It's like, oh yes, these Division I athletes who play skill positions are very athletic.
Now I will say, it's interesting to me to see that now you can actually bet on that. So there's markets for combine stats like 40 times and other things. And that's a level of degeneracy I never even got to.
No,
that's crazy.
I would never.
I saw a video of a guy rooting for a big lineman the other day to go under like 5.8 or something, and he ran like a 5.9. He's like, throwing his water bottle, and I'm like, dude,
That's
you're betting on a guy who's 320 pounds
to run.
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's very funny, but yeah, no, I think the combine's dumb and I hate it. I don't watch it.
think
I've
it's
never
dumb,
watched the combine.
and I hate it.
Yeah. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for our show today. Thank you everybody for listening. Pat, Jim, anyone else in the chat. We'll be back. Thank you to Josh and Braylon for being here as well. We'll be back same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260 next week. Peace.